Oh boy, another month, another revelation about Plagued Moth and his predilections toward child pornography. Okay, so, something that has come up recently is that Plagued Moth is back on Instagram, doing his grind, trying to get his numbers up, trying to get his interactions up, and one of the things he's doing in his desperate attempt to revive his career and to, get money out of people is interacting a lot on Instagram. Now, who is he interacting with? Of course, the guy who makes videos about gore, about child pornography, about necrophilia, about zoophilia, and all this stuff. Of course, he's interacting on Instagram with children. Again, the same child audience that made up a good number of views on his videos in the past. And yeah, so he's interacting with these people, liking their comments, so on and so forth. And these are people who should not be exposed to his material in any regard. But yet, here he is, just, straight up, once again, crossing that line, jumping across that border, breaking through that wall, like a Kool-Aid man full of very special sleepy time juice. And the most disturbing thing about this at this point is that he has been outed for this, and he's been talked to about this, and he's been scolded to no end about this many, many times, and yet he still proceeds trying to expose children to gore, trying to expose children to CP, trying to expose children to zoophilia, trying to expose children to as much as he can. The dude has a sickness, and I'm tired of pretending he doesn't. Ever since this dude was first exposed to gore and CP on LimeWire when he was a teenager, ever since that point, he has been trying to expose other young people to gore and to all of this other content. He purposefully does not age restrict his videos and makes YouTube do it and tries to get, as much of it out there as he can before the system catches him. There's no reason for him to not be age restricting unless he wants children watching his content. Period. But it gets a whole lot worse, because this is something that I just, casually found while looking into the fact that he was interacting with children on Instagram. A while back, he made a documentary, quote-unquote, series called The Infamous Four. Now, The Infamous Four was a video about the Columbine shooting, the Christchurch shooting, and the Sandy Hook shooting. 3 spree shootings, right? And number 4 on that list, the 4th thing in his Infamous 4 video, was a child pornography video. And I'm talking about hurtcore. I'm talking about the worst of the worst shit you could ever put on the fucking internet. The type of thing that Josh Duggar is found with. Like, this is the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, the most disgusting of the most disgusting of the most disgusting shit you can find on the fucking internet. So there you go. His Infamous 4 series was informing people and educating people about 3 mass shootings and a child pornography video. Now, he made a trailer for this to try to promote it because he was selling this to people. And in his post on Instagram, where he posted up this trailer, you might notice something a little interesting. Let me know if you see it. Why don't you pause the video and why don't you take a good look? See if you see what I'm talking about. That's right. Hashtag KINK. Now we're left with 2 options here. Either Plagued Moth was trying to get pedophiles to buy his product by labeling a video about child pornography as hashtag KINK, or Plagued Moth himself sees pedophilia as a kink. Those are the 2 options. That's it. It's one or the other. So which one do you think it is, guys? I mean, in the past, I probably would lean toward the first one. But as time goes on, I'm leaning toward the second. Because this dude cannot and will not stop focusing on CP. Watching CP, which he has admitted to 5 times, by the way. 5 separate occasions on which he has watched child pornography. Admitted by himself. 5 different occasions, and some of those occasions were many videos. Okay? This dude had sessions sitting down and watching CP, and then later on says, well, I did it to report it. I did it to report it. That's why I was watching all of it. Like, I'm leaning more toward the second option here. I'm leaning toward the fact that this dude thinks that pedophilia is a kink. A hashtag kink, if you will. I told you it got worse. And I was not kidding. Because that is much worse. And this post is still up to this day. If you check out his Insta, you can go and look at it for yourself. It's archived as well. Nobody's making this shit up about him. He is just an absolutely fucking debased weirdo. And I do not blame anyone for thinking that he may be a danger to children. After all, he sure loves to interact with them online about his gore and CSEM content.